not alone. This is the Resistance.
It's nice to see you all again. Wow, eh? You guys notice what's going on out there? Very interesting stuff, eh? Well, the political landscape is fucking interesting. We won't even go off on that yet. How about the silencing of one of the largest conspiracy theorists that the human species probably ever knew? Interesting stuff. Extremely interesting stuff. Okay? Haven't made a video in a long time. Doing a whole lot of thinking. Working on different things. I wonder how Alex Jones is really going to be doing these days, because conspiracy this, conspiracy that, who he was, what he did, who he worked for, I don't know. Perhaps he was a lot like myself. Examined all sides, presented all sides. It truly just depended when you caught on to who he was. Whether or not the emotional rage outbursts were to shock people, get people looking into you, seeing what you're doing. At that point, they have no choice but to listen to what you said now, don't they? It's very interesting stuff. Silencing of Alex Jones was very quick. We had a heads up. We all kind of knew it was coming. We used to joke about it. He should have known. The guy used to steal all of our material. When we started talking about him being shut down, he should have known that we knew something. But he never reached out to us. When Mr. Giggles shows up at his door in a box, orchestrated, carefully orchestrated by our own Tin Man, he should have reached out to us. But he never did. Not only did I know personally that it was going to happen, purely by examining the content that he was putting out there, I knew how they were going to do it, and I knew when. There was a lot of things that had to happen before I was going to be vindicated as correct. But they had to do it, kick him while he was down. It was during the divorce proceedings that he lost control of everything. It is what it is. He will rebuild. He'll come back swinging. These things will happen. There'll be nothing we can do to stop him. Have you paid attention as to how he became who he was? With the resources available today, he could do some interesting stuff quite quickly. Question is, does anybody honestly know what? Has anybody looked into what he's doing? That's interesting stuff. I think, personally, my own theoretical, my own brain dictating what I'm saying at this point, I think Alex Jones, he found the proverbial line that all movement leaders either find and recognize and willingly cross, or accidentally cross along the way through their own idealistic values. This would be the line where you found something or you're talking about something that you really shouldn't have or shouldn't be. Most of us fear that line. I say us because I am a founding, leading member of the Worldwide Resistance Network. My hiatuses are absolutely necessary and required because the moves that are taking place here are no longer quick steps that can be taken by the whim of a keyboard. So we have to be extremely cautious with what we do, how we do it, and how we choose to say it. We don't implement censorship. This isn't what we're looking for. We're looking for people who are adequately capable, righteous individuals, people that know what's up. I don't want to have to be screaming from the top of my lungs every day that we are anti-Zionist. I don't want to be talking about that every goddamn day of the year. If you don't know this, ask somebody. I guess this is where these secret societies and degrees and apprenticeships and all this nonsensical bullshit, I think that's where all this comes into play. If you don't know, one of us will teach you. You're just going to kind of have to go with the flow and do what you're doing. But if we chose you for a specific reason. Mr. Giggles didn't show up at your door for nothing. We haven't been looking out for you and watching over you and criticizing you and praising you when it was necessary for nothing. We haven't allowed you to just take our material and run with it for nothing. You're obviously paying attention to us. Why do you think I'm making this video now? You saw the mortuary. You saw the door. You reach out. You come do an interview with John Connor. We'll resurrect you. It ain't that hard. They're not going to silence people forever. They're not going to be able to. And that's what we're going to demonstrate. It's how we do it. But for now, suffice it me to say that all the Tin Man really has to do, because of his situations, is just a little bit of downloading and uploading. You start finding the content, and you start hiding the content within our content. You start releasing everything that Alex Jones had ever said that made sense. And you wash away the bullshit. You decipher the code, the very code that we're using. Everything we do is hidden within our nonsense. To assume that he is any worse or any better than us would be a fallacy. Sift through the nonsense. And then put it together in a nice little montage, just a little bit of downloading, cutting, pasting. Post it. That's what you do. No big technical brouhaha. You just show them that, TWWRN will be there. We don't have to agree to support the rights of others. Why am I talking about this now? Why is this important now? Because if you haven't noticed, his story's kind of dwindling. The internet kind of doesn't care anymore. You guys have to remember, John Connor is the blip in the system. It's the glitch that everybody fucking hates. What if Alex Jones suddenly became popular again? What if they literally failed their mission in silencing him? Because the reason here is that he may have quite legitimately stepped down on his own accord because he found the line. Not willing to cross said line. Nah, that was just fucking beautifully timed. So he ran. So this is the interesting thing, ladies and gentlemen. If he ran from the responsibility of being the info warrior that he wanted all of you to be, what the hell does that make any of us? So, if you want to talk about real stuff, you want to start waking people's eyes up, or if you just want to pass the informational torch. If you want to give to us what they don't want you to talk about, well, if you haven't noticed, TWRN's been around for a while. We're rather obscure. It's going to take a lot of people a long fucking time to decipher what's going on. The QAnon phenomenon has been very interesting. Very, very interesting. Have any of you considered that QAnon might legitimately be Alex Jones? Is there a reason why he's stepping away from the limelight? Is his time more preoccupied doing something else? When it comes to conspiracy theories, information, and photo ops to get the right people to vote, Donald Trump didn't go after what one would call the white vote, the racist vote, the Hispanic vote, the black vote. Donald Trump understood something interesting. The truth movement crossed all barricades, and that included political barricades. No one tapped into that principle, that thought. He got the truth movement's vote, not the conspiracy theorist vote. The conspiracy theorist vote just isn't enough. But he got the truthers. He got the info warriors vote. That's why all those Trump supporters didn't look like fucking rednecks. That's why you're seeing Kanye West being who he's being with the president. That's why we're figuring these things out. Whether or not Trump is doing what he's supposed to be doing is beyond my capabilities. I'm purely demonstrating simple things. Perhaps Alex Jones and the InfoWar, in a rhetorical way, just had to die, had to go away. Because what he's currently working on is far larger, far more important, far more impacting than what he was currently doing. But this would have been a great way to take all of his career, everything he's ever done, best way to put it, and splash it all over mainstream media, would become a victim of censorship. Remember that Alex Jones, prior to any of this, his educational background is a historian. Can't assume that he's stupid. You just got to figure out where his play is coming from and how he's doing it. This whole trade war between Canada and the United States, how's that working out for everybody? Shit, son. That's fun. This is good. It's healthy. It needs to be done. It needs to be done. It keeps countries vibrant. Keeps everybody on their toes. But both sides of the conflict here, neither one of them are extremely naive or stupid. Canadians, you gotta work real hard to piss off the Canadians enough that they would even consider escalating a trade war to a violent war. And you would honestly, I like to believe anyway, that you would have to work twice as hard, if not harder, after what has happened to the American people and how many lies they've been told and how many wars they've been sent out to. I like to believe that you'd have to work really hard to convince them that it was Canada's fault. So what's beautiful about all of this is that this trade war, because a large percentage of trade wars escalate to violent conflict. These aren't unrealistic statistics. But that's what makes this trade war beautiful. It allows two individuals to shake hands behind closed doors to actually know that those closed door deals are going to be held. You guys got to remember that Canada and the United States holds the longest unguarded border. When I say unguarded, I'm not talking about border patrol. I'm not talking about building walls and not building walls. I'm saying that for about 200 years or more, and that's the fun part, that Canada never really worried about the United States blowing through the border with tanks and bombs in a warlike fashion. Neither does the United States worry about that from our country. Because the backlash, the political backlash available from both sides, be it Democrats, Republicans, liberal, or conservative, it won't matter at that rate. The people will just be pissed. If we ever found out that Trudeau took some tanks over to the States because the door was just wide fucking open, the Canadian people would be upset about such a decision. If the American people found out that Trump just decided to fucking drone the Canadians because he could, because the door was, it would upset the Americans. These are decisions that can't be made because the civilian populace would just be in outrage. But what can you do with a trade dispute when most people believe that all trade disputes lead to violent conflict? You get to have a lot of fun with that. You get to have a lot of fun with that. The amount of smoke that you can blow up people's asses with this trade war. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. You're not that foolish to assume that there's going to be a violent conflict between the two countries. So why would you care about how much money is lost and how much this and how much that? Because the truth is that both countries on a grander scale will be perfectly taken care of. You guys just aren't reading through the fine print. Haven't you figured out? Okay, so when the trade deal started, well, Canada was losing this bit of money. Well, Trudeau said, oh, wait. Well, now I'm losing this money here. I'll make up for it over there. This fucking sucks. But this way here, the Americans are able to get steel at a reasonable rate for a period of time. Makes it look all fluffy and cool and a little bit fucking exciting. It allows Canada to send the United States military-grade steel at a cheaper rate to help our neighbors. And to do so without any of us getting all in an uproar. And if we are in an uproar, what are we in an uproar about? We're in an uproar about jobs. Not because the Americans got military-grade steel, which is perfect. Because in a wartime situation, these are the kinds of things that kind of have to happen. I don't want people to know I'm helping you if half the world don't fucking like you, because what does that mean? It means they don't like me either. Secrets. They're a beautiful thing. But trade deals and military decision-making, allies, Canada and the United States is some of the largest information out there. So for me to break this down on the fucking internet web for you is not a huge thing. Now, if I was explaining to you how Saudi Arabia and Israel have worked in concert together to cut off the Western world from the Eastern world, but to still keep us incorporated in how? In a running around with like a chicken without our heads kind of way. We don't even have time to stop and look at the monuments before they destroy them, regardless of which side is doing the destruction. That's where the conflict gets intriguing. How could the Israelis that believe that everybody out there is go in, how could they be subjugating themselves to Saudi royalty? Oh, interesting thought. They would have to subjugate. You don't really have a choice in the matter here. It's the kingdom of Saudi fucking Arabia, dude. They got money, they got military, they got oil. Saudi, you want to talk about a country that has the fiscal capabilities of closing the border and saying, meh, it would be Saudi Arabia. They don't need anything from anybody. They don't. Neither does Iran. This nonsensical getting ready to go to war with Iran. I've been saying that since the very fucking beginning. Very beginning. My very first video was explaining how they were preparing us to go to war with Iran. So don't act like you haven't been told. But don't worry. Don't worry. Because now in Canada, you can legally smoke marijuana. Ye motherfucking hell. And I'm not talking about that, let's go get some medical cannabis shit because I got the card and it's legal now. No. You guys want to know how it works? This is how you legalize. Okay? Sure, there's going to be hiccups and bumps along the way, and we're all going to get pissed off if someone does something stupid. But here's the deal. I went to jail, had a 9-month sentence. I served 6. Good time. I was able to get out. I served that time legitimately for growing marijuana. So here's my story. I grew a bunch of marijuana and the government didn't like it. So they put me in a box. End of story. But when I grew marijuana in my brain, I don't break laws. I don't hurt people. I don't do those things. But I also don't obey unjust laws. Nor will I obey a law that actively helps to hurt somebody. So you have to understand that I am a scientific mindset. I enjoy science. It's a big thing of mine. I love it. I love the human body, how it works. It's a very interesting thing. But when I found out the simple stuff, like we have cannabinoid receptors, well, that was interesting. Why do we have a receptor for a chemical that's not supposed to be in our body? Yeah. Here we go. So the intellectual side of myself decided to say, no, this stuff is good. It's not bad. And I'm going to grow it. And the government said, fuck you, you're not. But now, my point here is that I didn't go sit in a box and illegally grow a substance to count myself as one more statistic so that you guys can be stupid. Because right now, as it stands, I can walk out my door, I can go to the NB Cannabis shop, and I can buy an ounce of grass. Yep, I can do that. All I gotta do is show my photo ID. Same thing you have to do when you go buy a case of motherfucking beer. I can come home, I can store said ounce of grass. I can return to NB Cannabis, show them my ID again, and buy another ounce of grass. I can only have at any one given time on my person an ounce of grass. In my home, I'm entitled to an unlimited amount of marijuana. I can have pounds upon pounds upon pounds upon pounds. I'm allowed to store as much of the shit as I fucking want. But the government would ask that I only leave the home or only be around in public with an ounce or less. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a fucking reasonable request. Just putting it out there. You have to be 19 years of age to purchase the shit. Fair. I didn't go sit in a goddamn box so that you guys could peddle the shit to fucking kids. Raw deal. I don't like it when kids have alcohol. I don't like it when kids have drugs. And I don't like it when kids have weed. Now, hold the fucking phone. I'm not talking about medicinal herbs that are used to put underneath patients' tongues for seizures and things of this nature. I'm talking about the kids that are sitting on the corner of the road smoking reefer to just enjoy themselves, have a good time. Just like you do on a Friday night. But your ass's brain has been developed and it's complete. As I said, I am of scientific mind. To assume that there is no risk and no side effect to a developing brain with THC within it would be flawed. Why do I think we have cannabinoid receptors in our brain? Very simple. Very fucking simple. There was a time when we didn't cook our food. There was a time when we ate vegetation. I guarantee your ass that before we knew what we were doing, we were eating buds. We were eating them and we were loving the shit out of it then too. So I'm not talking about a kid going up to a fucking marijuana plant and eating a raw bud, because I'm not lying. That shit's probably fucking safe as snot, man. That's the easiest thing in the world. It's probably exactly what's going down there. Our cannabinoid receptors within our brain are probably there for us to eat it. And I'm not talking about brownies. I'm talking about legitimately grabbing the bud fresh off this fucking branch and eating it. I think that's why we have those. We had that in our system before we discovered fire. Think about it. Now, moving right along. Infinite amounts in the home, an ounce on your person. That's cool. Driving. I love my province. My province isn't always stupid. We're the shithole province of the country, it's been said. We are also a pilot province, which means anything that's new, we test it out here first. That's why we're the only province in the country that is 100% 50-50 bilingual by law. Yeah, by law. The rest of the country didn't really like that idea. They said, fuck you guys, you can keep that law. We're not big on that one. But we're a pilot province. The sooner we learn that, the better it will be, because we'll be able to get rid of this silly laws. And be like, guys, okay, they tried it. Yeah, did the rest of the country follow? Yeah. We shouldn't either then. Okay? But New Brunswick's marijuana laws are some of the best. There's 2 provinces in the country that don't allow you to grow. You're allowed to purchase, you're allowed to possess, you're not allowed to grow. I get the mindset behind it. If the customer's growing their own shit, they're not going to buy mine. Same reason why you shouldn't be growing tobacco. Just putting it out there. So you're allowed to grow up to 4 plants per household. That's what I sat in a box for. I sat in a box so that adults could legally purchase, possess, and have marijuana. I went in a box so that adults could responsibly grow their own marijuana. I'm not talking about growing fields of 200 and supplying the neighborhood. It's not your fault that your neighbor don't know how to grow weed like you do. Maybe you become friends. Maybe you guys get into projects together. Maybe you guys do your shit together and have fun. But you're not growing 10 fucking plants to feed the whole goddamn neighborhood. Now you're breaking the law. I didn't go to jail so you could break the law. And nobody that did what I did that so that you could be dumb now. Okay? People that took care of the prohibition for alcohol, they didn't do that so you could kill people while you were driving. They did that so you could sit back Christmas night, have a couple beer, and enjoy your family and fucking watch a movie. Just saying. So you guys have to be responsible now. Because if you're not, you'll make criminals of yourselves, and we're all going to sit back and laugh at you. The real people who did real things are not going to take pity on you when you get caught selling a gram of weed to a minor and you have to pay a $1,400 fine. No, you're not going to see any pity from me. I sat in a box because I grew it so that you would have the right to grow it. And that's how I feel about my charge. Justin Trudeau, right now, is saying he's going to pardon people with simple possession charges. I would ask him to utilize his intelligence and to escalate it to the very top and cut the dragon's head off right from the beginning and realize that any and all marijuana-related charges should be pardoned. The person that you're pardoning to hold it couldn't have held it if I didn't fucking grow it, or anybody like me didn't grow it. So you're going to pardon my customer, but you're not going to pardon me, the actual soldier that went to war and made it so that you can make the fucking tax dollars. Come on. Play with us on this here. I would prefer it, and I think the rest of the country would prefer it, if all marijuana-related charges. I can't pardon the coke dealer that had weed with him. I'm with you on that. I get it. I'm not a fucking idiot. But I won't lie. I have a production with the intent to traffic of marijuana. That's what I have. Actually, no, I think I talked that down to possession with the intent to traffic. Charged with production, talked it down to possession. But because the intent to traffic is there, I can't get a pardon. If I didn't do what I did, you wouldn't have to hand out pardons to the people holding the shit now, right? Just pardon the farmers. Pardon all pardon all marijuana-related charges. Just cut the dragon off at the top of the head. I can't fight for the guys and girls that have charges that have harsher substances attached and they just happen to have grass. I can't fight for that. I can't. Your guys' product is fucking killing people. There's nothing I can do for you. I'm sorry. But I don't care. Why is it that now I can legally house as much grass as I want? But when I had 36 plants, I'm glad it's only 4. You guys learn quickly that 1 plant is a lot of work. 4 is all kinds of fun. Anything more than that, you guys start looking at electrical hazards, fire risks. Some of you guys are going to have fun with hydroponic sets. You're dealing with chemicals. Let's don't lie. Lie to me. You can lie to me all you want. Don't lie to yourselves. Okay? Have fun with the grass laws. Obey the grass laws. They're really not that fucking bad. Okay? No more pulling over. I know it's cold. We know how to build igloos. Figure it out. But no more smoking grass into the car, even when it's not moving. Okay? Because they don't have breathalyzer tests for weed. So the only thing they're going to have is, does your car smell like weed? If your car smells like weed, you're fucked. Because the way the law is written, you're not supposed to be smoking in a car with the engine running or not. If you can find me a different way to put your car, be it on or off, you find that in between, you find that limbo, right? Well, no, the car's not on nor is it off, but I'm smoking it at this exact moment because I am within the boundaries of the law. Okay, no. Don't be dumb. And when it comes to these new laws, you guys forever stoners, the only courtesy that I've been extending to people is quite simple. I don't smoke my grass beside your car with your windows open. That's it. The rest, I don't care. I just go about the rest of my daily life. I do what I want to do. And now, I'm not a criminal. But, you know, be courteous. Love is the answer. That's what they tell us. Flower power 1. So, it's fair to say that the dirty fucking hippies were right, eh? Keep on that way. Keep on that wavelength. Pay more attention to what's going on outside your window instead of what's in front of you. I don't make these videos too much because too many people get attached to them. I want you guys to start brick and mortar foundational stuff. Mine, well, it's the RK9, the Revolutionary K9. That's what I'm working on. Hey, Tanker. What you doing, Tank? Come. Come here. Come on. Come on. Oh, you're being dumb now, eh? Come on. Say hi. Here. Let's get you up here so the world can see you. That's my Tanker. Good boy. Good boy. 4 months old. Black and white American Pit Bull Terrier. Therapy dog. And when he turns a year old, he'll begin his protection training. Cross training a canine for both protection and therapy on professional levels. Remember? When I'm not doing this, when I'm not talking to you guys, when I'm not trying to illustrate certain things, I'm nothing more than a veterinary administrative assistant. I'm just a dude that likes animals, man. Just remember.